thought I was gonna work in radio. He's lying to you. I never lost that interest in broadcasting. He doesn't get it, and you don't get it. My own radio show? Holy crap, I'm gonna do that. Conversation is over. You really want to do this, huh? Okay. I'm gonna let him spin his little story for you, and then I'm gonna tell you what really happened.
All right, so if I can talk without being interrupted today, I will continue where I left off. So I found this website called nowlive.com. Really brand new concept. Live streaming on YouTube is just everywhere now, right? We're used to it. It's a thing. Everybody can do it, and a lot of people do. But we're talking 2005. There was no such thing. And I gotta tell you, the technology was really, really rudimentary to the point where in order to broadcast your voice, you were actually calling on your home telephone to the website, and the website would then put your voice out onto the stream. So here I am furiously writing down this list of things that I want to do on my new radio show, and I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna talk about this entertainment news story about some movie, and then I'm gonna play a song, and then I'm going to talk about this celebrity thing that happened, and then I'll play one more song, and I'll do another story or a funny thing. And it just felt so silly, but it was really cool. For the time and for the technology, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. It took a little while to kind of get my legs under me. I wasn't quite sure what I was supposed to be doing. Tried to kind of sound professional if I could. With my work schedule, kind of decided that best thing I could do would be like once a week, maybe on a Saturday night when I've got free time, and try to make this happen. So thankfully, it only took a couple of weeks for them to ramp up the technology to be able to deal with webcams, so we moved to webcams. Webcams were not very common at this point, nor were they cheap and inexpensive like they are now. Most laptops didn't have built-in cameras. It took time, but I built it, and I met people, and started getting some folks that would listen more regularly, and before too long, I had begun to build a following. Much like YouTube today, it was primarily other content creators, other folks that were hosting radio shows, and I would listen to theirs, they would listen to mine, interact. And then about a month later, I had promoted the radio show on a messaging board for entertainment news, Hollywood stuff. Someone from that board came over to listen to the show. And in very short order, this guy, Mark, became the co-host of the show. And at that point is when we really took off and got into a rhythm that was fun and exciting. And it was a very creative time for me. And we started growing. It was a good feeling. It was pretty cool. We developed skits, we developed characters, and about a year and a half, 2 years down the road, we added another co-host, a young lady who came from a message board my wife frequented named Andrea, tag name the iVillage Idiot, to go along with Mark, tag name the Gentleman Death, and the host of the show was Kaeos Jones. Honestly, it was so much fun. Over time, things just got better. Technology got better, streaming capability, chat rooms. Dude, chat rooms were like the coolest, newest thing, right? We did a lot. I mean, it was really, really cool what we built there over the course of 4 years.
Okay. So here's what he's not telling you. One, he sucked. He wasn't funny. Not only was he not funny, he wasn't interesting. He fumbled around for like a month or more. He sounded like he belonged on AM radio doing news and traffic. He had no passion. He had no life. He had no energy in his voice at all. Nobody was listening. Nobody was tuning in. This was groundbreaking technology. This was the first live streaming anywhere. This was a completely new and foreign concept to everybody, and he squandered that opportunity. Now, he got a little bit lucky. He attracted some talented and interesting people to his side, probably out of pity, quite frankly. One day, finally, a little light bulb went off in his head, and he figured out, oh yeah, that's right, nobody's listening and I'm boring. He had been fortunate enough to attract a couple of people around him that started to encourage him to be more open, more vibrant, more energetic, little by little, 1 week at a time, one show at a time. I was born.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Chaotic Radio Live, all over the web, chaoticradiolive.com. All right, so
what the fuck is
that's you missed the whole thing. Did you miss the whole thing last week, Andrew? We'll have to catch you up.
Yeah, I wasn't here. I was
okay.
at the hospital.
All right, we'll catch you up on that little ditty later. Now, here's what really sucks about this competition. I'm going to make you people look again at the two. This is the finals. This is it. This is going to be the final round of this competition. And it's for absolutely no prize, no money, no bragging rights, none whatsoever. This is purely for the enjoyment of making fun of Hollywood, like we do here on this show. So
the show's not over yet. Check out the next episode of this podcast in the weekly podcast section at www.chaoticradiolive.com.
Yep, little old me. Just me. Just a loud, obnoxious, flamboyant jerk. You know what I did a lot of? I did a lot of swearing because it was funny. I did a lot of grown-up and potty humor because it was funny. And people laughed. And people started showing up. And people started chatting. And people became fans. Yeah, fine, whatever. Ding Dong almost drove off the road because, oh, I get to do a radio show. Woo freaking who, pal? It wasn't until I came along that you had something that was good. I gotta tell you what, it was pretty good. We had a lot of fun, man. We did skits, we did jokes, we had interviews, we had guests. Remember the Cobra Kai gym leader from Karate Kid? Yeah. Well, he actually stood us up for an interview, but he was gonna be on the show, and that's all that mattered. And I got his autograph from a Comic-Con in San Diego. We interviewed directors, we interviewed actors, we interviewed musicians and bands. Between me, Mark, and Andrea, we were hysterical. Made people laugh, we did crazy things. We produced a hell of a live show every Saturday night. It grew, and it changed, and it evolved, and more people joined the fold. Bottom line is, until I showed up, there was nothing there. And I didn't show up until the people that surrounded him started to encourage him to open up, to speak up, to say something with some freaking passion. That's who Kaeos Jones was. That's who I am. And that's who he finally figured out that he could be. 4 years, 200 shows, a mountain of memories, a list of amazing people that he still gets to be friends with today. But like anything, eventually, clock runs down. The world, as they say, moves on. Couldn't last forever. It was never meant to last forever. Everything's got to come to an end. Toward the end of that run, less and less people were showing up every week. People in the real world, they have real lives. It's hard for them to schedule their day around your live stream. Little by little, the audience dwindled. Quite frankly, the content dwindled. By the end of it, sitting down to write out a schedule of what skit are we going to do this week? What boring celebrity has done another boring thing that every other boring celebrity has ever done? It was played out, man. He created me for that show. I was out of ideas. I was out of passion. It stopped being fun. It started being work. And that's when I had to hang it up. I remember one fateful Saturday night. Made the closing credits, said goodbye to the crowd, reminded them to subscribe, thanked them so much for coming. I knew right at that moment in time that I didn't have another show in me. It was time to move on. World moves on. I had such a blast being Kaeos Jones for 4 years. Did things I never thought I'd be able to do. I reached that point where I knew it was over. It was time to take off the tie. Time to lose the glasses. Time to be me again. Brought you the story of Kaeos Jones because as I'm now working towards my first full year on YouTube, I'm starting to hear his voice. I'm starting to feel some of that creative energy that he brought. seeping into my YouTube videos. Now look, I make these topic vlogs. I talk to you guys about deep discussion topics and interesting things that people don't take time to think about. I ask you questions, I challenge you, but I also have fun. And I think that's the whole point. I think the point is that it's okay for me to have fun. I hope that as you watch my videos, you will find interesting and thought-provoking topics, but I also hope you have fun. And I hope that every once in a while, when I bring a little bit of Kaeos Jones into these productions, I'll entertain you. I'll make you smile. Maybe I'll make you think. That's all I have on this story for today. Please consider subscribing and joining us here on the channel. To all of my friends and YouTube family that I have met and made over the last 9.5 months now, thank you guys. I am honored to be a part of this community, to call so many of you friends now. Please continue to support one another. I will be there to support you. For now, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the road.